لغات. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اليوم سنتناول درس تاني أو الدرس الثاني في مادة الجبر والهندسة الفراغية بعنوان التوافيق أو combination. طبعا الدرس ده مهم جدا جدا، يعني عمل حاجات كتيرة جدا في الحياة العملية، في مثلا في الانتخابات، عملية الحصر وعملية الأرقام وعملية ازاي تفرق بين الأعداد وبين الحروف. مهم جدا جدا في الداتابيز، بيستخدموه في الإحصاء. مهم جدا جدا درس الكومبينيشن أو درس التوافيق. Welcome my dear student in our math program for second 3. Today we are taking second lesson in algebra. It's called combination. My dear student, look at introduction about combination. My dear student, the number of R subsets which can be formed from n set is denoted by NCR. Example, NBR equals 7BR 7CR 7C3 factorial 3. Therefore, what is the value of R? 7C3 equals NB3 right hand side over factorial 3. We know that, my dear student, NC3 equals NB3 over factorial 3. Why? Because this rule NCR equals factorial n over factorial n minus r multiply factorial r. Therefore, we use that right hand side NB3 7 times 6 times 5 factorial 3 3 times 2 times 1, then 7C3 equals 35. NCR equals NBR over factorial R. This rule, relation between combination and permutation. NCR equals NBR over factorial R. Which is greatest, NBR or NCR? NBR. Because NCR equals NBR over or divided factorial R. Or NCR equals factorial R over factorial R factorial n minus R. 10C8 equals 10C2 equals 10 times 9 over 2 times 1, 45. NCR equals NCN minus R. NCN equals 1. Why? Because NCN equals factorial n over factorial n minus n multiply factorial n. C3C3 equals 1. Why? Because 3C3 equals 3 times 3 times 2 times 1 over 3 times 2 times 1 equals 1. Factorial 3 over factorial 3 times factorial 0. Why? Difference between 3 and 3 equals 1. NC0 equals n equals 1. 3C0 equals what? Factorial 3 over factorial 0 multiply factorial 3 equals 1. Then we deduce that 5C0 equals 5 equals 1. 10C0 equals 1. If we have NCA equals NCB, we deduce that A equals B or A plus B equals N. Look at 27 CR equals 27 C2R minus 6. We have two cases. The first case r equals 2r minus 6. Second case r plus 2r minus 6 equal 27. The first r equals 2r minus 6. What is the value of r? Equals 6. Another example. If n cn minus 2 equals 6, find n. Look at the first or left hand side, factorial n over factorial n minus 2 multiply factorial difference n minus n plus 2 equals what? Equals 6. Right hand side. Look at, my dear student, n numerator factorial n, but in denominator factorial n minus 2. We can simplify factorial n equals n multiply n minus 1 factorial n minus 2 and simplify with the denominator factorial n minus 2 and use cross multiplication. Numerator became n multiply n minus 1 factorial n minus 2 over factorial n minus 2 times factorial 2 equal 6. Simplify factorial n minus 2 up and down and use cross multiplication. Factorial 2 times 6 equal 12. Therefore n minus 1 multiply n equals 12. Therefore, what is the two numbers or consecutive two numbers? It's multiply equals 12. 4 times 3. Therefore, n equal 4. Or we have other method, n square minus n negative 12 equals 0, and factorize to calculate the value of n. N square minus n minus 12 equals 0 by using factorization. N equals 4 or n equals negative 3. Negative 3 is refused. If n c n minus 2 equals n c n minus n minus 2, this rule n c n minus 2 equals n c difference between n and n minus 2 equals nc2. nc2 equals 6. What is the n? Therefore, we deduce that nc2 equals nb2 over factorial 2 equals 6. By using cross multiplication, we know that factorial 2 equal 2. 2 times 6, 12. nb2 equals 12. 4 times 3 or 4b2. 4b2 equal nb2. n equals 4. In this case, n equals 4. Look at, my dear student, if we have NBR equals 720, NCR equals 120. What is the value of N and R? We have NBR and NCR. We can solve NCR by using NBR over factorial R and substitution about NBR and the NCR to calculate factorial R. Look at NCR equals NBR over factorial R. By substitution about NCR 120, NBR 720 over factorial R. Therefore, factorial r equals 720 over 120 equals 6. Factorial r. Factorial r equals 6. What is the factorial which value equals 6? Good. Factorial 3. Factorial 3 equals 6. Therefore, r equals what? Equals 3. R equals 3. Then substitution about the first given NBR or NCR. NB3 720. What is the 3 consecutive number? It multiplies equals 720. By using factorization, we know that 720 10 times 9 times 8, or 720 10b3. 10b3 equals NB3, n equals 10. In this case, n equals what? Equals 10. Then we deduce the value of n after we know the value of r. R equals 3, then n equals 10. Remember, my dear student, if we have two relations, NBR, NCR, we find the relation between NCR and NBR by using NCR equals NBR over factorial r. After that substitution about NCR equals 120 and NBR 720 to calculate factorial r equal factorial 3, r equals 3. After that substitution NB3 720, we deduce n equals 10. This example is very important. Maybe r plus n or n minus r. Must know what is the value of n, what is the value of r. Another example. If MB3 720 and NC2 equals 10, what is the value? Factorial m minus n minus 1. By the previous method, MB3 equals 720. We know that MB3 10B3, 720, 10 times 8 times 9, or 10B3. NC2 equals 10. What is the value of n? NC2 means NB2 over factorial 2, or NB2 equals 10 times factorial 2 equals 20. Then NB2 equals 20. What is the n? 5. Why? 25 times 4, or 5b2. To calculate m minus n minus 1 under factorial. Therefore, we know that m equals 10. And the second, n equals 5. Therefore, factorial m minus n minus 1 equals factorial 10 minus 5 minus 1 factorial 4. Factorial 4, 4, 3, 2 times equals 24. Another example. Look at NCR over NCR minus 1 equals n minus r plus 1 over r. Look at left hand side, NCR over NCR minus 1 equals what? numerator factorial n over factorial r times factorial n minus r. Divided over means divided. NCR minus 1 equals factorial n over factorial r minus 1 multiply factorial n minus r plus 1. Difference between them. Look at the first fraction divided second fraction. We can simplify factorial n with factorial n. In the first fraction, first denominator factorial r equals r factorial r minus 1. We can simplest form. And factorial n minus r plus 1 in second fraction in denominator equals n minus r plus 1 factorial n minus r. Also, we can simplify. Therefore, this left hand side and right hand side, the correct answer equals in numerator factorial r minus 1 multiply n minus r plus 1 inside bracket factorial n minus r over r multiply factorial r minus 1 factorial n minus r. We simplify numerator with denominator, then answer is n minus r plus 1 over r. This rule, very important rule. Another example, 27C10 over 27C9 equals what? By using this rule, 27 minus 10 plus 1 over 10. The previous rule, NCR over NCR minus 1 equals n minus r plus 1 over r. In this example, n 27, r 10. The consecutive two terms 10 and 9. Therefore, 27 C10 over 27 C9 equals 27 minus 10 plus 1 over 10. Then answer is 2.8. Look at 10 15C5 over 15C3. We multiplied 15C4 up and down. Why? What is the rule? 15C5 over 15C4, but in denominator 15C3. Therefore, 15C5 over 15C4 times 15C4 up, down 15C3. By using the rule, 15 minus 5 plus 1 over 5 times 15 minus 4 plus 1 over 4. Calculate, answer is 33 over 5. Another example, NCR plus NCN plus R equals N plus 1 CR plus 1. Look at, my dear student, this is very important rule. At the first left hand side, NCR plus NCR plus 1 equals factorial n over factorial r times factorial n minus r plus factorial n over factorial r plus 1 times n minus r minus 1 by using simplest form in numerator and in denominator. By using common denominator, left hand side became n multiply n plus 1 over factorial n plus r plus 1 factorial n minus r. Remember, in numerator n multiply n plus 1, this factorial n plus 1. Factorial r plus 1 by using simplest form n plus 1 cr plus 1. Therefore, left hand side. (20C18) by using this rule, 20C18 plus 20C19 equals what? 21C19. We take n plus 1 and take r plus 1. n plus 1 cr plus 1. Answer is 21 C19 or 21 C2. Why? We know that 21 C19 equals 21 C, difference between 21 and 19, or 21 C2 equals 210. If m plus 3 beats 3 equals 720, and nc2 equals 3. What is the value of mc to n? We know that 720 equals 10 times 9 times 8, or 10b3. In this case, m plus 3 equals 10, m equals 7. Also, nc2 equals 3 means n permutation 2 over factorial 2 equals 3, then nb2 equals 6. After that, we find the value of n. nc2 equals 3. Therefore, n multiply n minus 1 equals 6. n equals 3. Therefore, m plus 3 b3 equals 10 b3. Why? 720. m equals 7. In this case, m equals 7. 10 minus 3. Therefore, mc to n 7c6. 7c6 equal what? 7c1. 7c1 equal what? Equal 7. Remember, 7c6 equals 7c1. Another example. NBR ratio NCR equals 24. What is the value to R to NCR? We know that NBR divided NCR equals NBR over factorial R. Therefore, 1 over factorial R equals 24, or factorial R equals 24. 24 factorial what? Factorial 4. Factorial 4 equal 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Therefore, we deduce that R equals 4. We know 2 RCR 8C4. By using calculator, answer is 1680. Another example. NBR 720 times NCN minus R. What is the value of 20C3R? In this case, this relation between NBR and NCR. Look at NBR 720 times NCR. Therefore, NBR 720 NCR equal NBR over factorial R. We simplify factorial. We simplify left-hand side, right-hand side by using NBR, division by NBR. Therefore, factorial R equals 720. Factorial R 700. What is the factorial which value 720? Factorial 6. Factorial 6 equals 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. R equals 6. In this case, 20C3R, 20C18 or 20C2. 20C2 equals 190 with calculator, or 20 times 19 over 2 times 1. Answer is 190. Another example. N minus 1 CR ratio NCR plus 1 equals R plus 1 over N. This rule. Look at left hand side, factorial N minus 1 over factorial N multiply factorial N minus R minus 1 times factorial. We have division and convert to multiply, and we find the reciprocal of the second fraction. Therefore, answer is factorial N minus 1 over factorial N multiply R plus 1 factorial R over N factorial N minus 1. We simplify factorial N minus 1 with factorial N minus 1. And answer is factorial R with factorial R. Answer is R plus 1 over N. My dear student, by the end of the lesson, we know that what is the difference between permutation and combination? What is the difference between NCR and NBR? Or what is the relation between them? We know that NCR equals NBR over factorial R. My dear student, I am very happy to spend such time with you. Don't forget, multiple choice exam is very important to find the value before we choose the correct answer. My dear student, I am very happy to spend such time with you. Thank you. Goodbye.